Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today we're going to get on the 400 RM 400. We're going to start the build on that. Hopefully we can get done with the lower end today. I was working on the Honda head and I run into an issue. I needed a tool bit. So I've got that on order. Should be in, maybe I can get it done for next week, but it's coming along pretty good. So I decided to go ahead. I had this all laying up clean on my bench, and I think I've got everything for it. So let's get started. Well, let's see if we can get these bearings to drop in. I like just heating them up with my heat gun and putting the bearings in the freezer. They've probably been in there about 6 hours. There you go. Okay, on this actuator, just get you an awl or something like that and get in there and lift that seal up out of there. That's the only thing that holds that in. I think I've got it, yeah. Okay, so there's your actuator. You've just got the seal holding it in. Got a washer on top and then the seal. Nothing else in there. So I guess the first thing I need to do, we've got a little rust here. I think I'm going to set this actuator up in the lathe and see if I can use a little crocus on that and remove that rust before I put the new bearing in, or new seal rather. Thanks guys, don't forget the thumbs up. Okay, on this, I'm not too concerned about this one spinning. You see these, the original bearings had the pin in them to prevent them from spinning. Not too concerned about this one. I'll probably just put some Loctite on it. This is the only one I worry about at all, is the counter shaft. So I've got some new Koyo, and they actually have got a little bit more of a taper right here, so it kind of makes it hard to drill, but I'm going to try to get in there and do it. If you go slow and get a hole started, you should be okay, but you got to make sure that it's far enough out so that you can drive it in and the pin won't bind up down here in the slot. So let's get over to the Bridgeport and see if we can get this hole drilled. Okay, I just kind of measure this from the other side to approximately the center. In this case, I'm about 5'10" or something like that. And then try to get an approximate measurement there, and that's, I think, about where I need to be. Now, this is carbide. You're not going to do it with a regular drill, and you got to go slow. Once we get a hole established, it'll go along pretty good. Okay, I'm starting to get some filings there, so I'm just going to put a little, I'm going to wash these after I'm done, but this will protect it from getting too much in there. It'll take a while. See, we're making some headway now. See the filings coming up. Okay, I think that's probably about it. Take a look at how far we're in. Now I got to get the stuff out of there. I just kind of want to know how deep I am here. So I'm going to set that around there and yep, I think we're good. You don't want to go too deep, you don't want to go through, and especially with carbide bit, because as soon as you go through, it'll break it. Ask me how I know. But you've got to be in there enough to hold that, and we're going to Loctite it also. I think we did pretty good on that. And one thing, take a look at the drill bit. It's not like your conventional twist bit. It's not a twist bit. Twist bits, when they're in carbide, break all the time. This is like it's fluted on both sides, and it has a very blunt point to it. So this is the way that I found that you can best do this, but you've got to do it slow. And you got to make sure your roll pin that you put in there is the right size, because if it's too big, it will split your bearing. Okay, then just take your little tool there to clean that hole up on the top so that the pin can be driven in. And we need to make sure that the hole is good and clean. And we'll take some acetone. Okay. And we'll blow that out. And the same with our roll pin. And I'm going to leave it long and cut it off afterwards. It's a lot easier to handle this way. Get our grade A Loctite. Okay, that's in there. So I'll let that dry a little bit. And then we'll cut the roll pin off. Okay, you can see here now that I've got this taped up again, and we're just going to go ahead and cut it off. And then we'll just kind of clean it up a little bit. There's our new pin. All right, let's see if we can get our Kickstarter in. We've got a washer and a snap ring down here. They're already installed. And we've got a little dimple here that we need to line up. Let's see, there's a dimple right here on the shaft and one right here on this pawl. You want to line those two up just like that. I think you can see maybe now we've got that one and that one lined up. Kind of got to hold on to this and put a little oil in it. And we're still lined up. So we need a spring right here. And you just need to kind of hold this together and push it through here. And you're going to seat the pawl underneath this piece right here. This piece here. Let me just put a little oil on the shaft there. And I'm just going to try to hold that so it's pretty close and try to stab it. That way everything won't fall apart on me. Okay, got her in there and got it located under the pawl here. So once you do that, then go ahead and get your snap ring on. Put the round side down, otherwise the sharp edge will be out. And that's how you will, that's how it works to grab the groove. Once you get this kind of on the shaft, you can just push it then. But that's, you got to get it on there first. It kind of wants to deform when you, so that's why it doesn't work very good. There. Okay, now we'll just kind of walk it down there until it snaps in place. All right, there it is. So our paw is down behind there. And it's installed, so we're good. Okay, next thing we need to do is you need to orient this washer. You see this recess here? It needs to go down. You can usually tell where the spring has been wrapping around here, but that beveled area goes down just like that. And then we need to get our spring in. We've got that Yeah, see, make sure it's all the way up. Oops, got to get this. It's going to go down. Actually, I think it's easier to do this way. You put that in and then wrap the spring around to put it in the shaft hole. Been a while since I've done it. Okay, you can see here that we've got this end of it caught, and we're going to just wind this around until we find the hole. And I don't think it's in quite all the way yet, so. All right. Okay, you got two holes pretty close there. It goes in the bottom hole. Think you can see that. And we're going to slide this collar in, and that keeps everything in a proper position. And now we've got a snap ring, and the same thing, the sharp edge goes out. That way it grabs the shaft. And it looks like let's see if these are working any better. Looks like they're just a little bit short, or too long rather. Get that down on it a little bit, it'll hold it. There. Okay, same thing. Just walk that down. So you get to the groove and it snaps in. Just like that. And then just take and kind of push it to see if it moves and is snapped in all the way. And it is. So that's the Kickstarter install. Let me grab a lever and we'll just give it a try. This is a pain in the butt to get to, so make sure it's going to work. Okay. Okay, I ran into a seal problem here. There's supposed to be a double lip seal. You get a spring on your lip here and on this side, and the supplier sent me a single lip. And not only that, but it's a little wider. See, this one, the original measures 966 millimeter, and this replacement is 980. And if you'll look here, if you use too wide a seal, then it's going to close up your hole down here. And that's how you get oil. I can cut a little notch out of this, but it's just not, it should be a double lip seal. So you want to be careful of that. I put a little paint on this one. It will leave you kind of a little slit when it's in, for the oil still to get in. So you can see here that the bearing is flush with the case. So you just want to pay attention to that. Make sure your engine's going to get the oil it needs. But as far as a total rebuild today, I'm not going to be able to finish it because of that seal. But I should be able to go ahead and put it together. I think I can get that seal in with the crankshaft in there. So we'll continue on, but I'm not going to put that seal in right now. That's That's sad. I bought one of those kits on eBay that had all the seals in it. Of course, you can't get them from Suzuki anymore. So be careful with that. I just ordered my own. These, I believe they're supposed to be 9mm thick instead. And that'll give me plenty of room here. See that if you drive it flush, that'll give you plenty of room for your oil to come through right there. Okay, so let's go to the other case. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my clutch actuator in, I believe. And you've got a washer that goes onto that. And we've got a seal. I'm going to take a little piece of plastic wrap here to get our seal down there. I'll put a little oil on it. Just so we don't damage the seal. And once you get it down there, you can take that off. Now the seal is the only thing that holds that in. We'll just put a little oil on our bearing surfaces there. And I'm going to put just a little bit of RTV black RTV in the top area right here, just like I do on all of them. That'll help seal it and also hold it in. And you want to use it sparingly. All right, because you do have a hole here, so you know, you don't want to push a bunch of that down there where you can't. Where are you at? There you are, right there, so that it covers up the hole. So we're all set here, and just grab you a socket. I'm going to grab my hammer. Plastic hammer. Okay. There, I think that'll do it. Okay, you can see that the seal did come down a little ways here, but it's still able to get oil. So just make sure your holes line up so that oil can get where it needs to go. Okay, I've got these two bearings in the freezer right now, and I'm getting ready to heat these up with my heat gun, and hopefully they'll just drop in. Okay. Okay, I'm about 200 degrees according to my temp stick there. These have only been in there in the freezer about an hour. Let's see what they does. Ah, gee, and didn't get it lined up right. Well, that's a bummer. I have to get it out. Try it again. Of course, it has okay. It's unfortunate that I missed the boat on that, because it would have just fell in. But I had to knock it back out, heat it up again, and sometimes things just don't work, you know. So there you are. See if I can do a little better job on the other one. There. Okay, we can go ahead and get most of these other seals in. So just clean them up good with some acetone. Can't believe that bearing was going to drop right in, and and I got it crooked. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Okay, we'll just take a little RTV, just like the other ones. And we've got our RTV on these. Just not all that happy with the seals that I got. I mean, these are the right size, but this one here for the other side, this is not. It should be a double lip, and that's an expensive seal. So I had to buy another one when I already had one that's supposed to be right. That's just the way it works. We just continually get junk, it seems like. Okay, I think we're good on this side now. So I'm going to get the other side over here, and we're going to start putting in the transmission. Okay, we need to get a bearing in here, and before we put that in, we'll put some assembly lube on it. Goes in there. I can get the assembly lube on that one from the outside, and I can this one until I get the seal in. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and get these in. Now the only shaft that had a washer on it was this one right here. And there we've got our washer. Let me get a thickness on that. So if anybody's looking, they know. Looks like a millimeter. So we'll get the assembly lube on the shaft also. I'll just put a little oil on this one. Help it get through the bearing. Okay. I think we've got it all in there the way it's supposed to be. Okay, I went ahead and put this bracket right here and on the other side. I'll have to take the screws out and put Loctite in them when I get ready to finish the job up. But for right now, I just want to put that in there so that I don't, the drum doesn't keep falling through. So we'll put a little oil on this, and right here is where our neutral is for our detent. So we'll line that up right here. Right here is the detent. So we'll stick it right there. And then we'll go ahead and get the detent assembled. And I'm not going to run it all the way in, just going to run it in there to kind of capture that drum without putting a bunch of sideways play on it. I just want it to get into that, into the neutral right there. And I'll just leave this sticking out until I have everything in there. Okay, we'll go ahead and get our shift forks in. This one, I may have to take that drum out. Probably be a little easier until I get that one in. Goes in right like that. And then this is back where it should be, right there. And then we'll line that up with our slot in the drum there. Let me get this back in. Yeah, that way it'll kind of hold it all together. And then we can get our pin in there. Okay. And same thing with the other two. So it goes down there. And then it is going to fit right here in that groove. And this one is just up a little higher, right in there. And it fits up in the groove right up here. And I'll just get a little assembly lube. Let me move that one over until I get some in it there. There we go. There. All right, it's all in. And we'll just get a little oil. And I'm going to get the crankshaft in next. So we'll see if we can get that to just drop in there. pull that one in. Probably will. I think I've got the log here interfering. Yep. Let's see if we go down now. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and get our dowels in. I like to put a little oil on those because they tend to get rusty. Okay, so those are in. I think we're where we need to clean our surfaces all the way around. And I'm pretty sure I got a gasket for this. I better go look. Okay, I'm just gonna clean all this with acetone best I can. Any areas that are hard to get to, I'll get a Q-tip. See how good this thing's gonna line up. These are SK gaskets. They're usually not too bad. You know, you just can't get OEM stuff, so you have to rely on the aftermarket. So I think we're looking okay here. Kind of a little weebly up here. Yeah, it is here too. I think maybe I need to cut out a little bit extra for the dowel pins so I can slip this around a little bit. Let me do that. That's kind of what the deal is. It bunches up because these holes are not quite big enough. So I just kind of trim them a little bit to give it a little more room. See what that does now. Okay, it's better, but it's still kind of bunching up here and here on the corner. So I'm probably gonna have to trim some of these screw holes a little bit too. That one for sure. I may have spoke too soon. It's not as good as I was hoping. Let me mess with it a little bit. Okay, I think I've got it trimmed up pretty good. I've had to trim almost every hole. You want to do this on these before you start putting it together. Otherwise, when you, especially around these, it will kind of fold up. And you don't want that because then it moves stuff even worse. So I think what I'll do here now is get some oil in my mag side seal. And we'll put some on the crankshaft here too. Hopefully make that a little easier to slide on. I'm sure we'll still have to pull it. Next thing we're going to do is get some assembly lube in this one and these two. And you can see there that where my pin is. I didn't put it on this one. I just don't think I need to. All right, and I've got the surface all clean, so I think we're ready to go. One last time, we got our dowel pins in. I believe we're going to get it. Yeah, looks like we're down. Looks good around our seal and our crankshaft there. So everything's down. Let me round up some screws. And I'll go ahead and tighten up our detent also. Thanks guys, don't forget the thumbs up. And let's just make sure all the screws will start. Okay, you've got a O-ring that needs to go right here. Just put a little oil on it. If you don't put this on, when you put it on the side stand, it will leak. And it goes in the recess, but the recess is on either side, so you can't mess it up. Ooh, I think that's somewhere else. You know, that's for the other side. This is the one, and it's only got a recess on one side. I thought that looked a little big. Get a little more oil on that one. Just going to turn it, and drops in. All right. Got the sprocket and the new washer. And the nut. All right, I think I'll go ahead and get it in the stand. And that way I can go ahead and finish tightening all these bolts up, and we can start working on the other side. All right, should be able to go ahead and get this cut off of there. And we'll go ahead and get it turned around and get all the screws tightened up. I've got this little stop here that needs to go in there. I think I'll put a little bit of blue Loctite on that. since it really doesn't get too tightened. And I don't know whether you can see that or not, but you've got a little scribe right there and right there. And they want you to affix the clutch lever so that it's in the slit on the clutch lever. So just like that. Then when we get all the components in there, it should work properly. And I think I'll go ahead and clean that up a little bit. And I put new sleeving on the mag cover here, or the magneto itself. Yeah, I can't remember how this thing's going to go. I think it goes this way. Yeah. And I think I've got this cable thing in the wrong place. 250 goes back there, but I believe the 400 goes probably right here or right here. I've got the mark here, and I'm lining that up with the mark on the case. I'm trying to find a light here. Yeah, right here, you've got the arrow on that case and a line right there. So that's pretty sure how that goes. So the cutout for the grommet should be somewhere over here, if not over here. I'll have to get the cover and we'll see. Can't remember. I think this was the one that no, it wasn't either. It was another one that had these had splices in the wires. This one was okay. I just put the new sleeving on it. And we did have spark before we tore it down, if you remember, right? All right. Okay, I can go ahead and take this out now. It's served its purpose for a little while anyway. And we'll go ahead and get our ratchet back in there. Let me kind of get it assembled. It's kind of a pain in the butt to assemble this thing. See if I can get it in there without losing it. Okay. You got 2 springs, 2 plungers, and your 2 springs, 2 plungers, and 2 paws. And they go in they go in how they want to go in, really. All right, Better get these pieces in there. They're kind of tough to get in, I gotta say so. We'll go ahead and get our screws with some blue Loctite. Okay, you can kind of see that's not very straight. Certainly not perfect, but perhaps it's better. Okay guys, I think this is as far as I can go until I get this seal. Man, you just got to watch everything you buy on eBay. You know, I thought, oh, here's a whole complete set of seals for, I think it was $23.95. So I went ahead and picked it up because there are very few of them, especially the crank seals, you can't get from Suzuki anymore. But that thing came in and it's a single lip. It will fit in here. And I guess you could probably use it in a pinch, but I'm not going to do it. I found, I think I picked up 3 of the regular, the double lip ones, and they should be here in a week or so probably. So we can pick back up on this and put the clutch in and all that. I've shifted it. It shifts through all the gears, and I believe that that's as far as we can go, because if I put the clutch on, then I'm not going to be able to handle getting the seal in here. So this is all nice. Feels good. The rotor and the ignition, like I say, I put the new sleeving on. I went ahead and moved this cable clamp over to here. I think that's where it goes. So, and we got the shift shaft straightened, and everything works good on that one. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put this back away here. Kind of keep everything clean. And then I'm going to put the cover on. On this side. Just to kind of keep the trash out of that. There we go. And then we can get back on that, I don't know, here in a week or so when those seals come in. I think that's all I need. Okay guys, there you have it. I was really wanting to get the whole lower end buttoned up today, but you know, there's always something. I should have looked at those seals. I just thought, geez, there's a whole set. That'll take care of it. But I'm not going to risk putting in a single lip where a double lip should go. So we'll wait a few days, probably a week. We'll get those in. We'll be able to finish the lower end and then move on to the top end. I don't know. I think I'm going to be able to get by without boring that thing. But we'll double check it again and see what we need, or see what we think we need to do. And if we need to bore it, we'll bore it and go ahead and finish that engine up. That way I can get back on the frame. I've got to get that out and sandblast it yet. I've got a couple other, I've got the 125 frame RM to sandblast, and I've got the SL70 Honda to sandblast. Then we can get started on it too. So lots of things coming up. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed, everybody that watches every week. I get a lot of good feedback from everybody, and I just appreciate everybody that stays with me here. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.